Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sword and Shield moveset video. Today's video is going to be all about the sheep Pokemon Dubwool, so let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Dubwool is a pure normal type Pokemon with access to 3 abilities, the first of which being Fluffy, which is a rather interesting ability that halves the damage of moves that make contact with this Pokemon, while also simultaneously doubling the damage it takes from fire-type moves. And its second ability is known as Steadfast, which is an ability that increases your speed by 1 stage if you get flinched. Finally, for the last ability that this Pokemon has access to, it is known as Bulletproof, which is another really interesting ability that makes you immune to attacks that are classified as ball and bomb moves, such as a move like Sludge Bomb or Aura Sphere. As for its stats though, this Pokemon has a base 72 HP, 100 defense, and 90 special defense, showing that this Pokemon can be quite bulky on the battlefield, and it has a ton of support options to not only cripple opponents, but also augment its own defenses to make it even harder to take down. Offensively though, it has a respectable base 80 physical attack, which it can definitely make use of, as this Pokemon also does have access to boosting moves like Swords Dance, but its special attack being only base 60, and with it having a rather limited special attacking move pool, isn't going to really get much use. Finally, its speed stat being base 88 is actually a little bit above average, allowing this Pokemon to actually be quite fast if you were to invest into its speed, and also much like with its physical attack, this Pokemon also has a way of boosting its speed by running a move like Agility. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the first moveset that I have for you in this video. So for this first moveset, we're going to start by running Dubwool as a bulky support Pokemon. So we're going to include a Careful Nature to boost its special defense but lower its special attack, and go with either the Fluffy or the Bulletproof ability, though I personally believe that Bulletproof is superior here. Fluffy is still very good. As for the EVs, we're going to max our HP and special defense with 252 EVs into both of those, and then put 4 into its defense. And for the item, going with Leftovers to recover our HP at the end of every turn, or go with the Chestoberry item to allow this Pokemon to wake up immediately if it gets put to sleep, which can either be as a result of your opponent using a move on you, or you going for a move like Rest. As for the moves though on this Pokemon, the first thing that we're going to run on this set is going to be Cotton Guard, which is an amazing defensive ability that allows this Pokemon to increase its physical defense by 3 stages. So after 2 Cotton Guards, you are at max physical defense, and it makes this Pokemon insanely difficult to kill from physical moves, especially if you were to even combine this with the Fluffy ability, as you're then also having the damage of contact moves. Along with this, we're going to run a way of paralyzing our opponents, so we can do that immediately just by running Thunder Wave, or we can do it as the byproduct of another attack if we were to go for Body Slam, which has a 30% chance to paralyze, but also does some damage in the process. Both of these options though are very good for obviously crippling your opponent's speed and making it so that they occasionally cannot attack. Then along with this, we're going to go ahead and run one of the new moves introduced into Generation 8, known as Body Press, which is an attack that is based off of your defense stat. So because we are able to boost our defenses so incredibly well, this move is going to basically be your main attack on the set, and you are going to be insanely bulky at the same time while making use of it. And then along with this, we're going to go ahead and run another coverage option potentially in the last move slot, or a healing option. So we have Payback, which is there to give you a dark type coverage option, which is especially great because again, Body Press is really our main attack for this set. So Payback will be useful against ghost types that are immune to your fighting type move. But then we also have access to a move like Wild Charge and Zen Headbutt as well to give you some more type coverage, though do be a little bit weary when using Wild Charge as you are a more defensive set, so the recoil that you take is going to be substantial to tanking some hits. Finally though, we have Rest as our last option to allow this Pokemon to recover all of its health and get rid of any negative status it may have been afflicted with in the process, and this is a great way to just give this Pokemon a very reliable way to become healthy after it's been in for a while, and possibly acquiring some defense boost to take physical attacks from your opponents. Now in addition to being able to spread status manually and make its defenses incredibly bulky, this Pokemon can also make use of a great Rest Talk set to make use of its natural defenses and spread status at the same time while keeping it a little bit more healthy. So we're going to start this one off by running it either physically or special defensive. So Impish Nature is going to increase your physical defense but lower your special attack, whereas the Careful Nature will increase your special defense but lower your special attack. And then we're definitely going to use the Fluffy ability here because the reduction in damage from contact moves is incredibly beneficial, especially if you do run this as a physically defensive Pokemon, because most contact moves are physical attacks. So for the EVs, we're always going to max our HP with 252 EVs, and then we're either going to max out our physical or special defense and put the remainder 4 EVs into the opposite defense stat. And for the item, we're going to go with Leftovers to allow us to recover HP at the end of every turn, or even include a Rocky Helmet as a great option here as well, because this is going to be allowing you to deal some damage when your opponent attacks you with a contact move, which in turn is being halved by the use of the Fluffy ability. So this is an absolutely amazing item to use in combination with your ability for this particular set to get you some residual damage. As for the moves though, the first thing that we're going to go with this time is going to be Body Slam, as it's going to allow us to have a good stab normal move with a chance to paralyze, which is incredible. And then for our second attack, we're either going to go ahead and run Bounce as a flying type option to allow you also to potentially paralyze something, or go with Payback for a little bit more of a general option that is great to work in combination with your normal stab, as it will allow you to hit ghost types that you cannot with your normal stab move. But then again, Zen Headbutt is also a great coverage option just for an interesting psychic move to allow you to potentially hit opposing fighting types super effectively that might be threatening you with a super effective move. But the last two moves on the set are to work in combination with each other in the form of Rest to heal up all our HP and remove any status we may have received, and Sleep Talk to allow us to continue to be threatening even while asleep. And these two moves in combination with each other, with the other attacks that you have on the set to paralyze or just give you some coverage, is going to allow this Pokemon to survive for a very long time and deal quite a bit of damage and even potentially status stuff in the process. Moving on to the third moveset of this video, I'm going to be showing off another great way to make use of this Pokemon's defenses and also make it a little bit more of a threatening attacker in this particular sense. So we're going to start this one off by giving it an Adamant nature this time to increase your physical attack but lower your special attack, and again go with the Fluffy ability. As for the EVs, this time we're going to put 232 into your HP stat, 252 into your physical attack, and 24 EVs into your speed to make it so that this Pokemon is just a little bit faster and able to outspeed base 90 speed Pokemon that would typically normally outspeed it. As for the item on the set, we're going to be going ahead and running an Assault Vest, which is going to increase our special defense while allowing us to not use any non-attacking moves, and this set actually has a ton of coverage to make use of that boosted defenses without really having to worry so much about being unable to use a move that would be a little bit more indirect towards your opponents. So for our first attack, we're again going to use Body Slam, as it is a great stab move with a chance to paralyze, and then we're also going to go ahead and run Bounce again because it's a great flying move with also a chance to paralyze. Now the cool thing about this is that both of these options are actually very, very good in allowing you to just potentially cripple something, and a lot of people when they see you going for Bounce potentially might switch out, which is really good because you could still land a paralysis on something that even might resist it. But alongside this, we're actually going to include Body Press here as an option, even though we're not boosting our defense, because it is a still pretty powerful fighting type move. Even if it's being based off of an uninvested defensive stat, it's going to be very useful for type coverage. And then for the last move on the set, again, Wild Charge, Zen Headbutt, and Payback are great options for allowing you to just have a little bit more type coverage. The other really cool thing about the set is if you were to actually Dynamax it, you have a way of boosting both your physical attack and your speed stat through the use of Body Press and Bounce respectively, and this will actually make the set even more threatening while also retaining the bulk that you're getting from your HP investment and the use of the Assault Vest item. So it has some really interesting utility built into it if you were to Dynamax it, but without it you still get a very tanky Pokemon that is able to spread status and deal some pretty good damage. Moving on to some more offensive sets for this Pokemon to run, this is a really great double boosting set to allow it to become very powerful and very fast. So we're going to start this one off by giving it either a Jolly Nature to boost its speed but lower its special attack, or an Adamant Nature to boost its physical attack but lower its special attack. And for the ability, either going with Fluffy or Bulletproof, as both work incredibly well for this moveset. As for the EVs, we're going to maximize our physical attack and our speed stats by putting 252 EVs into both of those, and then put the remainder 4 into your special defense. And for the item, we can go with a more offensive option in running a Life Orb to boost the damage of our attacks at the cost of losing 10% of our health every time we damage an opponent, or going with a little bit more of a tankier option in running Leftovers to give us some HP at the end of every turn, which will be helpful as we're setting up to shrug off some of the damage we won't be taking, as well as also to mitigate some of the recoil we're taking from our main attack on this set. But for the moves, the first thing that we're going to be going with is going to be Swords Dance to boost our physical attack by 2 stages and make us significantly more powerful, and the second move is going to be Agility to boost our speed by 2 stages to make us significantly faster. And these two moves in combination with each other are just going to allow this Pokemon to turn itself into a very powerful sweeper that's going to be outspeeding everything and boosting its damage to kill things very, very easily. Along with this, our main normal type stab on this particular set is going to be Double Edge, and while this does have recoil associated with it, it is the most consistent option, and in my opinion a much better pick than running Mega Kick, which is still equally powerful but can miss as it is only 75% accurate. Along with this, then we have the opportunity to run one more attack, and we can do this through the use of either Bounce, Wild Charge, Zen Headbutt, or Body Press. And these are all just coverage options to allow this Pokemon to just hit some more things along with its just main normal type stab. Also keeping in mind that you obviously have all the interesting effects that occur if you were to Dynamax this Pokemon, and those effects can definitely allow you to set up and sweep a lot more easily as well, while also providing a significant boost to this Pokemon's HP and make it very difficult to take down. But speaking of Dynamaxing, there is actually another way you can run a offensive set just like this one if we forego one of the boosting options. So we're either going to pick on this particular variant between Swords Dance or Agility, and then that's going to kind of determine what other moves we use and what we're going to be running with to allow this Pokemon to just be insanely powerful while having an additional coverage option, because we're not going to be relying on an additional boosting move. Now, alongside Swords Dance and Agility, we have a main normal type stab move in the form of either Body Slam this time, which I'm going to include because that chance to paralyze is very, very useful, or again, just using Double Edge for the stronger option. But the next two options are really where things get interesting if you're using this while Dynamax, because like I said, we are forgoing a boosting option for an additional coverage move. So Bounce, when you Dynamax this Pokemon, will turn into Max Airstream, which will boost your speed by 1 stage when you damage an opponent with it. And this is really good because this will allow you to get that speed boost if you run Swords Dance as your boosting option. And then on the other hand, we have Body Press, which will turn into Max Knuckle, which will boost your physical attack by 1 stage when you're Dynamaxed, which you can use in combination with Agility as your main boosting move. So both of these options are absolutely incredible when used in combination with each other or just separately, because it allows you to acquire the other boost that you wouldn't be getting otherwise. Along with this, then, we have Body Press yet again if we want to go ahead and run both options, because both are great. And then we also have access to Wild Charge and Zen Headbutt for the type coverage and allowing this Pokemon to hit a few more things super effectively. Finally, for the last moveset of this video, this Pokemon actually can be an excellent user of the Reversal move to give you an insanely powerful fighting type move at your disposal. So we're going to start this one off by giving it either a Jolly or Adamant Nature, yet again, just like the previous set, and choosing between the Fluffy and Bulletproof abilities. And for the EVs, again, running the same Max Physical Attack, Max Speed spread by putting 252 EVs into both of those, and then the remainder 4 into your Special Defense. But for the item this time, we can either go with the Slack Berry to boost our speed in a pinch, or a Lychee Berry to boost our physical attack in a pinch, which is going to allow you to just get that additional boost to allow sweeping to be a lot easier. Along with this, for our first move on the set, we either have Substitute or Endure, which is going to allow us to get into the range where Reversal is going to be incredibly powerful. Now, Substitute is a little bit more of an interesting option because it allows you to get behind a protective barrier to shield you from attacks and statuses while you set up either your physical attack or your speed, but it's less reliable to get you into 1 HP where Reversal is going to be its most powerful, whereas Endure can pretty much guarantee that if you're at a low range of health and know that something would normally knock you out. Along with this, though, for those boosting moves, again, Swords Dance and Agility are there, and whatever you choose for this, you will choose the opposite for your berry. So if you go with Swords Dance to boost your physical attack, you'll go with Slack Berry to boost your speed, and if you go with Agility to boost your speed, you're going to go with the Lychee Berry to boost your physical attack. Along with this, again, we have Reversal, as this is the main point of the set, which turns into an insanely powerful fighting type move when you are at 1 HP. And this is going to allow this Pokemon to hit way harder than it normally ever would be on an offensive set like this one. And then alongside this, we have a last attack in the form of either Body Slam, Zen Headbutt, or Bounce. We're never going to use Double Edge or Wild Charge with this set because then we would just kill ourselves if we're at 1 HP. So these are definitely the 3 best options to go with, and it gives this Pokemon a little bit more of an offensive presence in terms of just allowing it to have an insanely hard move to hit with, while also some good coverage options in the process to round it out if it's unable to just go for Reversal on things such as, Ghost types or something like that. They're going to either be immune or resisting them. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video on Dubwool. I personally think that right now this Pokemon is incredibly underrated in its ability, especially when using what I would consider its best set, which is the first one that I showed you in this video. And I'm looking forward to actually using this Pokemon quite a bit more because I think it has a ton of useful potential. But as always, everybody, be sure to take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.